Ladies and gentlemen, today I will take you along with me to a local, well-respected company here in the DFW who claims they have a stock C8 Corvette engine with over 1,000 horsepower in it. 1,045 to be exact. But can they really do this? Let's go find out. All right, so I'm going to take you into the back and introduce you to Kenny. He is the owner of JoTech, and here he is.
Hey.
How's it going, man?
How's it going, Mike? Thanks for coming by, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
My fans are going to be super excited to see the C8 content here, so.
Oh, yeah. Come on, let me show you around. We're actually working on Brandon's C8 right now. It's a 2020.
Awesome.
This is the one that we're really proud of because I think we're the only one with the stock motor that's making over 1,000 wheel.
Yeah, that's what I told my fans.
Yeah. So this one, a couple weeks ago, we had on the dyno. So it's got our stage 5 package with the ETS twin turbo kit, fuel tech engine management system, additional port injection, intake plenum, and Datsun clutch. You know, some hardware for the driveline, nothing serious. You know, we on Seth's car, the red C8, we made over 1,000 on that one on a stock motor, but that was a shop car. We didn't know, you know, how far we can push it, how many miles and so forth. So when we did that, we took it to Rocky Mountain, and we had great success with the car. The car ran, I think, like its best ET was a 933. But again, you know, we were pushing it, right?
Sure.
So we got a lot of data from it, and then now we're giving it to the customers. And this one, we dyno 1045. And same thing, we gave it back to him. He's been driving it on the street, and then he took it out to Ennis. And 2 weeks ago, he ran a 955.
Dang.
But that's not even full power.
Sure.
Because, you know, obviously, you know, we don't have the clutch that could handle it, so we just put a new clutch in it.
Okay.
So here it is. Let me show you.
Yeah, so now you guys are, I know a lot of the other people that are doing mods to the C8s like this are having to do standalone systems.
Yeah. So
you're doing the same thing?
We're doing the same thing. So yeah, the option is going to be fuel tech or motec.
Okay.
We've done both, and right now the fuel tech system is working out really good for us. We have good control over it. The launching strategy and the traction control is slightly better, so that's why we like to use the fuel tech.
Sure.
But we did discover one minor issue with this at the track a couple weeks ago. It was pushing oil out on the rear main seal.
Okay.
On that cavity, and it only does it when it's under heavy boost. So we had to, it's a lot of work. We had to drop the transmission, reseal it, because, you know, I guess the sealant that they used from GM wasn't as adequate, so we had to use something better and put more.
But you didn't have to replace anything.
Correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So real quick, let everybody know what you typically do in this shop. I know you kind of started out with GTRs, right? Okay.
Right. So there's only a few platforms that we, That's okay. There's a few platforms that we specialize in. As you can see, the Nissan GTR, that's our bread and butter. That's what we started out with recently, but we've been in business for 26 years now. And we started out with Hondas and Acuras.
And you have records, right? At the
with
track?
the Honda, yeah.
With a Honda Civic.
The one that we have up front, that hatch, I think it broke one of the world records for the fastest unibody. So it ran 182 and a quarter, and I think it trapped like 802 was my best time in it.
That's amazing,
that's
man.
On manual.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not doing that again. But you know, moving on to the latest and greatest. We love the Nissan products, so we started out with 350Z, 370Zs, Infinitis, and then obviously the Nissan GTR, and then we kind of grew from that, and we got into the Porsche 911 turbos, the McLaren. We added the C8, and now we're working on, as you can see, the Huracans and R8 twin turbos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I showed the folks those.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So the C8 is definitely one of our favorite. You know, obviously, you know you have one, so you know
Yes.
how well it drives and the value of the car and how easy it is to tune and make power with it.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why we love it so much.
Awesome. Well, let's take a look at this one then.
Yeah.
This is a silver flare. As you guys can see, here are the turbos back here. So they're lower mounted turbos instead of being up in the engine bay, which we know that most mid-engine cars are like that.
Yeah.
So
It'll keep the heat out of the engine bay. What I like most about this CTS kit is that everything, the fitment and the quality is superb. There's only maybe, one hole that you had to cut to modify for the liquid to air intercooler and the bracket?
Yeah, on this car too, but typically it's just going to be one hole, and that's really the only major modification to the car.
Yeah.
awesome. Then this is your guys' own exhaust.
It's part of the turbo kit.
Right. But, oh, okay. Gotcha.
So when you buy the turbo kit, it comes with the exhaust as well. So
Okay.
some people think they have to, like, oh man, I gotta buy a turbo kit, I gotta buy exhaust. No, you just buy the turbo kit and it gives you everything you need. The car
Sweet.
can basically be stocked from the get-go.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is a turnkey package, and it will come with the liquid to air intercooler. It's got its own separate tank for the ice. You can put ice or coolant or
I was
just
going to
water
ask
in
you
there.
about that. I saw him
Yeah.
putting that tank in.
Charge inlet temp is happy. I mean, we've had guys that road race the car in Denver with it. We have another gentleman that's doing it locally here, and
Wow.
we don't have any heating issue with the coolant or air temps.
I was going to ask you about that because last time I was in here, you were telling me that it was like impossible to make these things heat up, even with a super high amount of horsepower.
Right. Yeah, the C8 is pretty efficient as far as cooling. I wouldn't say impossible.
Okay.
I mean, we haven't trying to blow it up basically,
Right,
but
right.
you know, taking it on long trips, driving it to the racetrack, racing it, driving it home, we don't see any issues. So that's why we're confident selling it.
So tell me about the stage 1 and then up from there, what the people can get.
Okay, so it starts out with our stage 2 package.
Oh, okay.
Stage 1 would be just
My bad.
bolt-on exhaust
Stage-
system and
okay.
so forth.
Right.
The stage 2, it's going to be the turbo kit. That doesn't come with the liquid to air intercooler.
Okay.
The one that we like to recommend is going to be stage 3 on up. The main reason for that is here we live in Texas, it's hot.
Right.
So you want to have the liquid to air intercooler to cool down the temperatures. The stage 4, what you will get with that is going to be aftermarket clutch, axles. That's going to be the weakness once you start pushing and try to make more power.
Sure.
So the stage 3, for example, with the liquid to air intercooler and the factory fuel system and factory ECU, we're able to extract 540 to 570 at the wheels. With the stage 4, we're able to get 600
Okay.
at the wheels. And then from there, if you upgrade the intake plenum and add the port injection and the standalone, then on pump gas with the port injection, we can make up to 900 at the wheels on the
Wow.
stage 5. And it goes up from there. So it's just
Well, yeah, this one's over
obviously.
1,000, so
Yeah.
this is just stage whatever.
Right. Right. Those numbers all it's a new platform. We're still pushing it. We're still learning. It never stops. So those stages and the numbers will incrementally change.
Sure. So how did you figure out the way to go about doing this much horsepower and not having to do anything to the engine as far as modifying it?
Well, we ran it at obviously the Rocky Mountain. We put 1,400 miles on it. Went 5 days straight. The car didn't see any oil change or anything like that. We didn't see any heating issue. So we entered that race because we wanted to go on an endurance rally
Right.
type of race to put it through its pace. We were expecting to break the car. We wanted to see where the weaknesses are.
Perfect.
And we didn't see any weakness from that. And we just went from, Seth drove the car with another co-pilot.
Okay.
And it's 5 days straight. The car never rested. We just went from track to track, and it kept getting better as far as ET times go. And I think during that event, I think the best time that he ended up with was a 9:45 at the event. We didn't enter for competition. We entered just to want to see how reliable this package is.
Right.
And then after that, we came back to the shop and we tore down the engine to look at the bearings, look at the rods, look at all the pins, look at just wear and tear on the engine to see if there's anything that Is there a weakness that we need to address? Do we need to build this before we give it to the client? And when we tore it down and we saw that, we're like, oh, wow, it could take it.
Wow.
So at that time, his car was already making 1,100 at the wheels. So we felt giving it back to the client at 900 would be would be sufficient. I mean, that's plenty of power for the street tires.
Yes.
You know, and anything 4 digits, you're gonna have to put drag radials or slicks on it to keep it on the ground.
And I think most of the people that watch my channel are not going to even really be super interested in the super high horsepower.
Right, yeah.
They're going to be more interested in, you know, getting something that's very manageable. When did you start feeling like you couldn't put all the power down to the ground with the stock tires? What
with
horsepower?
the stock tires, I think it can handle up to 700 at the most. That's when they start wiggling around on the street.
Okay.
So you could simply upgrade and put the Toyo All 888Rs on there.
The drag radial.
And it could handle it.
Sure.
But yeah, the majority of our clients, they start out with stage 2, 3, and so forth, right?
Okay.
And that package there without any fuel system, like I said, you know, this one guy, he took it out there, he ran a 10.6. This one, when it was at stage 3, he took it out there and he ran, what, 10.5, 10.6 consistently on the track, as is, with the street tires. So
and that's with the stage 2?
3.
3, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I feel like that's the one that's going to be very popular because, you know, obviously everybody wants to get the new Z06 that's coming out. Good luck. I mean, so it's hard to get.
Right.
So this is a good alternative that you can get a base model C8 and do some bolt-on and get there reliably.
And what are we talking about as price goes, like for the stage 2 and up?
I believe on the website, at stage 2, it starts out at 22 or 25K.
Okay.
At parts, labor, install, and then it goes on up to 28 and then 35.
Okay.
So it's just it's modular, right? So
Yes.
you get to pick what driveline, what clutch you want, any additional suspension, tires, and so forth. So I think average is about 30K upgrade to get
everything
a 10.5 car.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then people are going to want to know about warranty issues because obviously if they just purchase a C8, it has a factory warranty. You guys put this stuff on it, it's voided. What do you guys do as far as warranting your work?
We ETS and us, we offer 1-year warranty on the workmanship and warranty that what we do and other products. Now, this will void the factory warranty. So if you take it back to Chevy, if you're telling them, hey, I blew up the motor, there's nothing that they can do about it.
That's right.
So this is a risk
Yes.
that you do have to take, and you have to know that, okay, if we do this, we're going to void the warranty. So, of course, you know, you have to trust us, give us good faith that, you know, we're doing the job and make sure everything is good. So, you know, based on all the tests and how long we've been in business, I mean, we're not out there to give you a product that's going to hurt your vehicle and shorten the life of it.
Right.
We want to have fun with this. Obviously, it's not for everyone. This is something that you want. It's not something that you need.
Yes.
So if you want the extra horsepower and you want to, you know, you got the need for speed, this is it.
This is it.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, I've known about JoTech for a very long time, and they are well known within the car community. I've never heard a bad thing said about these guys, seriously. Everything is very positive, and that's for a reason. Kenny takes pride in the work that they do here to make sure that they don't have issues. They don't have people constantly bringing their cars back. Have I ever had work done by them? No. Am I considering it? Yes. But I have talked to a lot of people who have had work done by them. And again, this is something that, like he said, could be an alternative to the C7 or C8 Z06. A lot of you out there who thought you were going to get this car obviously have found out recently that you aren't. You probably were planning on spending 130 to 150K on that C8 Z06. So for you to be able to buy a C8 $80,000 to $90,000 and then spend $30,000, you're well under probably what you would have spent on a Z06 anyway, and then you've got a car that competes with it. How is it on sound as far as, I know usually turbos quiet down the V8. What does it do to this?
It definitely is going to be louder.
Oh.
It is muffled. It is muffled with the turbos. It's louder than factory. Now, I did notice that if you have the glass roof, It's less sound deadening material, so you will hear a little bit and you will feel a little bit of vibration. With the regular hard top, it's not bad at all in the cabin. So we're gonna fire it up here in a minute here, and then go for a test drive. So I want you to experience it and see where your tolerance, where your level is. We've talked to ETS. Is there a muffler added on or silencer being considered?
So there's a catted version and a non-catted version. Obviously, the catted version will be
quieter, right?
These tips actually do have mufflers built into them.
Oh, okay. I was wondering about that. That's interesting. Awesome.
That sounds pretty good. I wouldn't say it's that much louder than your average C8 that has aftermarket exhaust. If anything, it might be a little bit quieter than most of those.
Cool. So Seth, I know my audience is going to want to know about like engine lights, check engine lights. Do you guys have any of those issues with these?
We don't. We are in the process of getting a factory ECU tuned, although we do have already a calibration for the ECU to delete certain lights that we have seen issues with. So we do not have limp mode with the cars at all.
Nice.
So pretty soon, once the calibration is fully finished, you're going to see a power increase on all of our kits from the stage 2 on up.
Nice. Very cool. Thank you for that. All right, Kenny, this sounds great. Let's go for a ride.
Let's go.
All right.